How many of my fellow classmates like to pay for textbooks? I know I don't. I am here to convince you why textbooks should be free. Europe and other countries around the world actually have free tuition. We don't get the chance of free tuition, and I understand that's a lot to ask for in our economy, but I do believe that we should have at least free textbooks. Um, in some places in Switzerland and Belgium, they even pay for your housing completely. If Europe has free college education, if we decided to keep tuition costs, I believe that we should at least have free textbooks. Danish students are even paid to go to school. That's crazy. I would not expect for us to at least be paid to go to school. I do not expect that, and I don't want that. Wouldn't that be awesome to actually be paid to go to school every day, though? I think it would be pretty cool. I think that 90% of my classmates would think it would be pretty cool to actually get paid to go to school. Germany, you do not have to pay for tuition or housing. Finland, Sweden, France even have opportunities for free higher education. Some of the facts of why we should have free textbooks in the United States. In a survey of more than 2,000 college students in 33 states and 156 different campuses, that the average of the college spends a year on textbooks is roughly around $1,200 a year. That is insane. That we roughly spend around $1,200 a year on textbooks is absolutely crazy. I do not know why, and it needs to be fixed. I know that I easily spend $600, no doubt, a semester. So it roughly comes out to $1,200 a year. If we are not going to have free education, at least we can have the materials that we need to for the class to be free. I believe that if you're going to pay for tuition, that you should at least be able to have the opportunity to have free class materials, the stuff that you need to pass that class. We as students are paying way too much on textbooks. If they do decide to do anything, they need to either get rid of textbook costs for higher education students or do a major discount price on them. Why the textbook should be free. One, we should not have to pay for our higher education materials. We pay an arm and a leg for the class. We don't want the hassle of expensive textbooks as well. What's the point of taking a class and spending an arm and a leg on the class and then turning around and you have to buy all the material for that class? Sometimes the textbook could be 60 to 80 to 100, and sometimes I've seen textbooks up to $300 for one textbook. Due to the prices of textbooks, 65% of the country's higher education students refuse to purchase text material for the class. Like they won't even buy, I know some kids that will not even buy the text material because they know that it's too expensive. Therefore, students would rather compromise the class and grade in the class rather than pay for the textbook. Like they would rather fail the class than they would rather pay for the textbook because the textbooks are so high. Most of the time, we don't even use the text material that is required for you to purchase. I don't know if any of you guys have taken a composition class, but comp, you are required to buy this book, the Little Brown Handbook. I have maybe opened this book like 3 times, the entire time of me having it. Everything is accessible on Google now. So if you need help on APA format, if you need help on anything else, I usually go to Google for it. I don't use the textbook. Even though they say that it's a nice resource to have, the Little Brown Handbook, I simply do not use this book. It's just been sitting in my room forever, not even open. How are we going to get free text material, is what you guys are asking. How about they put the text material online? If we need it, they tell us in your textbook, this is what we're going to use for the text. Like, I would rather have a textbook online rather than sit here and pay for a textbook that we obviously do not really need. The text material is paid for when you pay tuition. If that means raising tuition up a little, like 3 to 5% more for the text, I believe that we could be successful and the teachers would have to be responsible for choosing the text material than giving it to us at the beginning of the class. The teachers choose the text, but seeing that the competition is so high in the market, in the editing market, that as soon as they buy the text, they make these new editions, so the textbook that you have is technically obsolete as soon as you buy it. So even at the end of the semester, when you can turn your book in for money back, they're not going to give you anywhere near the price that you were actually getting them. Like, I know this book, the reason why I still have this book and haven't turned it in is because it's obsolete. They came out with a new edition, literally the year after I got this book, the semester after. So they weren't taking it. So I'm stuck with a book that I'm never going to need anymore because I don't have to take comp anymore. Yeah, it would be a good resource in the future if I absolutely need it, but I don't see me absolutely needing this textbook anymore. But I believe that students should actually do something to make people realize that we actually need free textbooks in the United States. We need to do something. We need to stand up and do something for every student who is struggling out there and purchasing these textbooks. 65% of us would rather fail a class than buy the textbook. That's absolutely ridiculous. So let's stand up and let's do something about we need to have free textbooks.